Luckily that lid did not break, but you get the idea. It can be a little challenging to install these vinyl strips on these Aqueon glass lids. So I've got a way that I do it now that I've been using for a few times, and it's much easier. It still takes a little time, still takes a little effort, but it takes less effort than if you were just trying to put it on manually or slide it on manually. So the best way I found to do it in the past was to slide it on, and you'd have to do it very slowly and pushing it an inch or two at a time. Because this thing, the way it's designed, the edge over here, it's not easy just to kind of pop it in and slide in there. It's designed to fit pretty securely and pretty snugly. Helps prevent water from getting in there as well too. And because if that water gets stuck in between the panels over here and stays on that glass, it can get moldy, it can cause other issues as well. So you want a good tight seal on that. And so in this video, I'm going to show you what process I use, and I'm actually going to demonstrate it on this 40-gallon breeder lid from Aqueon that's going to be going on that tank there. So what do I use to install that vinyl strip? I use this right here. It's a heat gun. So this is something that not everybody's going to have, I understand that, but the alternative a lot of people might have is that of a hairdryer. So while I don't use a hairdryer for obvious reasons, I do have family members that do use hairdryers. A hairdryer will just serve the same purpose. This heat gun is a little more powerful. It's got 2 speeds on it, and you can adjust the heat. So when I'm installing this vinyl strip, I'm not using the full heat on this. I'm actually down to about 75% and just using the low speed of this heat gun. So your typical hairdryer should have equivalent amount of heat. Maybe you will have to run it at the higher speed versus the lower speed in order to work with your hairdryer, but it still should accomplish the same purpose. So here's the Aqueon hinged glass top that I'm referring to. It's in the box right now. So this one is specifically for 30 and 40-gallon breeders. It's going to go on this tank right over here. As you can see, I've got one that's already been put together. A couple things to note with your strip is if you plan on cutting it for whatever reason, let's say you've got to hang on the back filter, so you need some spacing in there, I would recommend doing that first. Getting a Dremel, getting some sort of shears that you can clip this, and then install it afterwards. That way you're less likely to break your glass in case you're trying to cut this and it's warping the glass, it doesn't go right. Cut it before it's on and then install it. It'll make life much easier. Now in this particular one, it's just got one layout. It's smooth on top, and that's going to be the top of the lid, so it'll be facing upwards. So in that 20-gallon I showed you that's already got the vinyl strip on, that's slightly different. It's got a ridge on the bottom as well as got a ridge on the top. So in that case, you need to figure out what you want on top, what you want on bottom. And you do need to look at your glass to determine which side is up and which side is down. Because with the glass, you have it opening only in one direction, the full amount. So like if I'm folding it this way, it goes all the way, versus the other way, it stops right here and it won't go any further. So obviously the top is considered the part where it can go all the way back. And that's what you want to use when you install it. So you want to consider this side the top since it goes all the way back. It comes with a little handle that you stick on the glass over there, and that helps you open it when it's sitting on top of your aquarium. So with this, another safety tip, another safety suggestion, when I was doing that, when I was installing the vinyl strip on that 20-gallon lid, there was a glass splinter on this, and I was rubbing it with my hand just to kind of get a good grip on it, and I did get a little cut. So with this, I'd recommend grabbing a clean paper towel and just rubbing the edges, thickening up the paper towel enough, rubbing the edges where you're going to install the vinyl strip. That way, when you're working with it, in case there is some glass over there, some glass shards, you're not going to get it in your fingers. I do work with gloves, just because it's glass, it's easier that way. Gives me better grip, especially if my hands start getting sweaty, it's going to start slipping more. The gloves give me a little better traction, a little better grip on the glass. So with this here, I've got a little makeshift table. This is not the best way to do it because it's a little unstable. It's just balanced on this bucket over here, so you need to be careful with that. Obviously, if you tip it, you tilt it, drop the glass, you're likely to break it, and that's no fun. Similar with the heat gun, it does get very hot. So in the past when I've done it, I put it on a cardboard box. I had a couple of cardboard boxes stacked up just to get it high enough. With a heat gun, you get hot enough that it can cause a fire, so you need to be careful there. Keep your hands away from the heat stream, so it can get pretty hot, burn your hands. So this is going to be the top side. This is the one that's going to be facing upwards when it's on top of the aquarium. You can pick either side to install the strip on. It's just no difference. If there's a difference in the glass and one looks better than the other, not that really anybody's going to be looking that close at it, but figure out which side you want and then start working from there. The way that we're going to be doing this is we're going to be heating this edge right here, and you'll start at one end basically heating it until it starts to get soft. You don't want to overheat it where it's going to get very soft, very pliable, because then it's going to be a problem. It's going to expand too much, it's going to deform and might not stick properly. So you just want to heat it just enough. And we're heating the plastic mainly, we're not heating the glass as much. So the heating process, you just start going slowly over the edge. You don't really need to do both sides, just one side. Not too close. Keep it a little farther away. And once done, and start sliding it on. So it does slide much easier now that I've heated it up. So just try and get it on as far as you can after the initial heat warming. And then after a little bit, you're going to start to notice it's starting to get a little tougher to slide. So once you're noticing it starting to get a little tougher to slide, grab your heat gun again and start heating up again further down. So you really only need to heat a couple inches at a time, and then once that's heated up, you can slide it down on again. You want firm and even pressure. You don't want to grab or warp the glass too much. You run the risk of breaking it. So just gentle pressure, half an inch, quarter of an inch at a time. In this case, I'm holding from the back over here. You can't see my hand over here. I'm holding the edge of the glass and just slowly sliding it down. Now I'm feeling more resistance, so I'm going to heat it up again. Heat it up further down the line. I'm going to heat it up here a little bit too, towards the part where I've already installed it, just to help keep it loose. But I want more heat on this side over here. Don't try and rush this process either. Just take your time. You're less likely to break anything. I'm going to shift to the floor over here. I moved it down to the floor, and I've got cardboard underneath too, just to protect the bottom of the glass. And this is also just going to help me get more leverage on this too. It'll be easier to push this strip down directly from the top here. I've got the top right here, you can see, and so I'll just be pushing it down this way. That way I'm not pushing and pulling at the same time. And here's the finished product. Got on the edge over there, and got it on the edge over here as well. In case it does come apart in the middle over here, let's say it starts pulling away from these edges over here, it's just easy just to, while it's still a little warm, push it back in. So here it is installed on this 40-gallon. You can see it's a perfect fit. I still have the handle piece over here, like you got on this one right here. Just a handle that sticks on the glass, helps you open it. So I still need to stick that on there. I'll do that a little later. So as you can see from that video, it is challenging. It does take a little time. I'd say it probably took me 10 to 15 minutes to do. But that's something you want to take your time with. You don't want to rush it because the chances of breaking your glass, ruining something, cutting yourself, because it is glass, working with glass can be challenging. So especially if you just got one tank, that's great. You know, you're only going to do it once. 10 to 15 minutes, it's done. You never have to deal with it again. For those of us with multiple tanks, it just takes time. Don't do it all at one go. Do one at a time. When you get around to doing the next one, assuming you don't need them all immediately at once, you can take your time and put them on slowly. So you don't want to put too much pressure. You want to take it nice and easy. Just gentle pressure. At the same time too, you torque the glass in the wrong way, bend it in the wrong angle. You can shatter that. You can cut yourself. You'll create a big mess with the glass. So nice and slow, nice and easy does it. And that's the way I install my vinyl strips on my Aqueon glass lids. Let me know in the comments below if you found this helpful. If you do have another way that you install it, let me know as well in the comments how you have done it in the past. If you have an easier method, I'd be happy to hear it. Love to try some different methods. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.